Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to share with you my most recent trip. We started off going out to Colorado again, and I hit the Grand Mesa National Forest. As you can see here, this is the road in to where I was going. Gorgeous. It was super satiated with water. Everything was super green. I had just seen a golden eagle on the road. Like, it was great. So this was the top of the mesa. Kind of a plateau. Plateau is kind of a weird misnomer, but it's not totally flat. I spent some time down in the valleys, as you can see, down into the areas that you can't see here. But this was the road in. Just give you some idea of the vegetation. Lots of aspens, high forest area. This is about 10,000 feet. Looking for elk. I finally got one on video as she ran away. That was it. I only had a few deer cooperate, so I didn't include their videos or pictures, but this one, I could have taken a video for an hour. She just sat there and stared at me. But I got to test out a new tarp, set up a fun camp in a really nice vegetated, cold area. From there, we went to Cheyenne Mountain Shooting Complex at Fort Carson, Colorado. And here's a picture of Cheyenne Mountain in the background. Of course, out there shooting my SIG Cross, topped with a Bushnell Forge, 4.5 to 27 by 50, zero stop, all that good stuff. Really good, decent scope. Shooting some Starline brass, loaded with IMR 4064, 168 ELD match from Hornady. Had a good day. Great day. First time out past 100, but starting at 100 to reconfirm zero. Bottom three shots were together, top three shots were together. Decent groupings. Then I moved out to 300. That was my first shot group at 300, 3.2 inches. That was my second group at 300 at 2.8 inches. From there, just loaded up, got some shooting in, all the way out from, typically, I'll kind of backtrack. Where I shoot here in Texas, I'm stuck at 100 yards. If you want to shoot at 200, you have to qualify, which the guys at the range act like it's an act of Congress to get out there and let you do that. You only have to shoot a 6-inch group at 100 yards to qualify to shoot to 200 yards. And so I don't really bother. I like to go out and get data and all that stuff, but this range, they do run it a little weird, but if you're in the Colorado Springs area, I definitely recommend going out there on a weekend. This is range 3, as it's called. Usually I go to range 1. Range 1 has steel out to 1,200, but the police department, the local sheriff's department, had it reserved out for the weekend so they could do a night shoot. Despite the fact that there was nobody there during the day, we couldn't use it. So I really don't like shooting from a bench. I actually quite despise it. I can never get comfortable on a bench. It's never the right height. Something's always wrong. My eye relief's always wrong. It's always something. But nevertheless, I know somebody out there is also in that predicament. But we prevail. We get out there. We get our shot groups in. And we do the best we can. Here I'm shooting, I believe, was the 490-yard steel, which you'll see a video of in a minute. They also had numerous steel at 420 yards. Proved to be a pretty productive day for dope gathering. Really reaffirmed the fact that my ballistics data is correct. And so here we are, 420 yards, left to right, 24-inch steel, prairie dog, coyote, then another prairie dog. And as you can see, I'm getting hits on them. I missed once or twice, but not too shabby. First shot on coyote, I get it. Of course, it's a big target. Then I move to the prairie dogs, and they're pretty much life size, especially for Colorado. There's some big prairie dogs on Fort Carson, and those are about life size. So hitting those, and I think the next shot is what I miss. But all in all, really good range trip. More so looking at what else can I do with my cross, how far am I comfortable with it, and I'm definitely going to be pushing those boundaries. Here we are. I don't have a measurement on this. The range safeties have different theories on how large this target is, but this is 490 yards. I hit the dirt, I think twice out of 5 or something like that. I didn't really count, and I didn't watch the video before, so here we are, waiting to see how many times I hit the steel. I wanted to include the audio, but you can't hear me hitting the steel. There was a miss because there's other shooters. There's other shooters shooting steel, things like that. But this is a really good way to get out and get some dope and really get that control data that you need to make sure that you're a successful, accurate shooter. And I think it's important that everybody pushes themselves just a little bit to make sure that they can make hits like this predictably. Like, I know as soon as I shoot that, I knew it was low. Could it have been a kill shot on maybe an elk? Perhaps, but I should have taken more time. I don't have a good bipod still. I'm still waiting on mine from MDT. Nevertheless, again, I wanted to get out, get some low data, confirmed at distance on this SIG cross that I absolutely love. I hope you guys like the paint job. I did a video on that earlier. Go check that out. But just wanted to give you a rundown on why I haven't been around this last week and a half. Spend some time up in Colorado. You know, alone time up in the mountains is the best. Man, it was awesome. Cold. Coming from Texas to there was cold. But then I get to come down here, spend some time with my granddaughter, some of my kids, go to the range that's 5 minutes from my kid's house right here that you can see. This is that range 3 that I was telling you about at Cheyenne Mountain Shooting Complex. It is technically on Fort Carson, but there's an access to it before you have to go into the military access point onto the base. And so you don't have to register your guns or anything like that. You're not following the same rules necessarily because they have allowed some exceptions to get to the shooting center. And so if you're in that area, I definitely recommend go check it out. You know, there's no fancy bells or whistles, and there's some old grumpy retired guys that run it, but it's fun. It's a good range to go to if you're in that area, and great way to get in there and get some dope gathered up for your rifle. And with that, we will leave you guys for next time. Stay tactical.